Patch 25.22 is upon us with some nerfs, some buffs, and many other changes too. Starting with nerfs, the first one goes to Akshan, who's losing 20 base health. In addition, his Q cooldown will be slightly longer in the early levels, but the same when maxed. He was a large winner last patch, with the Doran's blade change being very helpful to him, so this should just bring him back in line to a fairly strong champion. The next nerf goes to LeBlanc, who's losing 3 base health growth and 0.5 armor growth. This will barely be felt at all in the early game, but will be felt a little bit as the game goes on. She has been strong for some time now, and it's already incredibly difficult to kill, so this just makes it a bit easier. And the final nerf goes to Talon, specifically him in the jungle, where his passive damage to monsters is being slightly reduced. This shouldn't change too much, but will make his clear take a couple more attacks. As for buffs, the first one goes to Aurelion Sol, who is getting 5 extra base movement speed, which actually is a very solid buff for a character that likes roaming. In addition, the burst damage that happens every 1 second on his Q is also getting an extra 5 damage every rank. Next, we have Blitzcrank, who's actually getting a very nice buff, where his E is going from 9 seconds down to 7 seconds cooldown when it's only got 1 point in the ability. However, when fully leveled, it will still just be 5 seconds. This should mean all Blitzcranks are allowed to max W second, which he does want to do, while now being able to get multiple E's off in a teamfight. And the final buff goes to Yone, who's getting 5 extra damage on his Q at all levels. He has been struggling for some time now, and I can't really see this making too much of a difference. We also have a couple of adjustments, with the first one going to Skarner. He's gaining more AD growth per level, and also the AD ratio on his Q is being increased, as well as getting a massive AD ratio on his E. And the Q's cooldown is massively going down, but now starts when he finishes the 3rd activation of his Q rather than at the start. And his ultimate is also taking a little bit more time to cast, giving it a higher time to react. Overall, a more damage-based Skarner could be fun. And the other adjustment is going to Volibear, who's getting 4 more base armor and 2 more base AD. However, his Q will give him less movement speed when fully leveled, and his E will deal less damage to jungle monsters in the early levels. Essentially, they're looking to make top Volibear stronger without making jungle Volibear stronger too. We also have many system changes, starting with Biscuits, where they now heal slightly less, scaling with maximum health. The next change is to Cashback, where you now get 8% return on legendary item rather than 6. This is a pretty solid buff, and I can see it becoming much more popular. Next, we have Guardian, which is going up to 25% AP scaling rather than 15, which should make it slightly more appealing for some enchanters. Following this, Hail of Blades is going up to 160% bonus attack speed for melee champions. I can't see many champions changing to this, as competitive runes like Lethal Tempo and Conqueror are still very strong, but those who already make very good use out of it, like Pyke, Shaco, Tryndamere, Cho'Gath, and Echo, will love it. Next, Legend Bloodline is getting slightly more lifesteal per stack, but honestly, it's been quite weak for some time now, and I can't see many champions going for it. We also have the movement speed shard in your rune tree going up to 2.5% movement speed, which is much stronger, and we have the Nimbus Cloak rune also getting slightly more bonus movement speed. And one of the big changes goes to Phase Rush, where the slow resist is going down to 50%. Otherwise, the Tenacity shard is going up to 15%, and they're still trying to make Triple Tonic more viable.